Shalom, Kohola, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name is Farad Bar, coming to you from the GMS campus, City Annapolis. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom, especially to so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Today, I just had thoughts on um, this pretty much the lesson or pretty quick thoughts are double honors. And so just got like three scriptures, this quick video, pretty much a quick hit. And as you can see, this is Bernard Hopkins, and he was on a podcast, and Salakia, his name escaped me, but he's on this boxing podcast, and he's having a discussion and you'll see the gentleman. He's the other gentleman that he's speaking with, well-known boxer, championship boxer, very good in his craft, and of course they're going to have an exchange as to him being a much younger man coming into the game of boxing, learning and being mentored by and watching uh, older gentlemen such as Bernard Hopkins, and he's going to make a statement that I just wanted to relay over into the ministry. And this is why I'm calling it double honors. And I'll give a few thoughts on it, but then I'll let the scripture speak and end it from there. But here we go. And like always, hopefully this is edifying unto the body. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna play it one more time. And so hopefully you can hear that. Andre Ward. Okay, it says this Andre Ward, and let's just get into it because it's the thing he said. He said when he was coming up, he, pretty much he had respect on the men who came before him, and he wasn't in the place of trying to contend with those who came before him, those who are much older boxers. Now you want to come up and make a name off of beating up someone that was much or beating down on someone that was much older. Okay. And so, in this time, relating it to the ministry, we go back into our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and the years that they've put in through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai to learn this truth, to the toil and the tribulations, the trials that they have undergone to get to the point in where they are, to be the leaders in which Yahweh Shema Shai intended them to be. And as a result, many men, the scriptures say, um, like myself, have come into their work, their labors. All right. They have, through Yahweh Shai first being a chief cornerstone, uh, laid a groundwork, a foundation, and then they came and built upon the foundation of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And we are being those stones being placed within this spiritual house that's being built. Again, this is starting with our head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught them, because as they do, they give honor to those who have taught them, and we give honor unto them, those that we've come under, such as, and that's how it should be, respect. And like he said, it would seem to be blasphemous, to contend with those who have taught you. And that's what you get in these day and time. You have camps, many of them, they talk about the One West camps, but then you have many camps who have stand or leaders who are under the leaders of GMS, and these are the very ones, to this day are speaking all kind of talks and accusations, lies, false accusation and lies against the men in which taught them. And again, like the brother said, Andre Ward said, he would consider that blasphemous. So if men out in the world, have a way of having to honor, those who at least are teaching that they're Israel, right? Because you have men who taught under the men of Great Millstone, the head apostles, and that learned under them, and then they went on and they started to they talk bad about the men of GMS, but then they go and they tie themselves with um, those who don't even believe in the name of Yahweh or Yahweh Shai, having unity camps, which have all kind of doctrines, but they'll talk bad against the men in which they taught them. So that in itself says something, because Yahweh Shai said, bless when the men revile you and persecute you and say all manner of things against you for his sake. So let's go ahead and get the scriptures. And hopefully that was the sound. You can hear the sound, because from when I played it, I could, I couldn't necessarily hear it, but you could at least read the words. We just got to let it go because, of course, the powers of the air, Satan, has his way as well. But this is blasphemous, describing something showing disrespect or contempt for the Most High in religious matters, often involving um, I can't say that right now. Irreverent, excuse me, yeah, irreverent and profane language and actions. It all it can also refer to a person who engages in such behavior. And so, of course, you have men who have called the leaders, that taught them all kind of names. The moment they leave GMS, then they start to change the doctrine. They start to change the things in which they've been taught. They start to talk about the men. They start to have all kind of accusations. But one thing that's also have shown within that pattern is that then things start to come out about them, about the very men that are making the accusations, disrespect and contempt, saying things like, the apostle Tahar. I know I've heard, it's old, like the apostles and elders actually, not just apostle Tahar, but are old and need to step down and let younger men, step to the plate. um, when this scripture, when the scriptures talk about, until Yahweh shots come, we are to do this work. But they pretty much are, again, that's a way of contending and going against those who came before you, so that you can make a name for yourself, as if the things in which they were teaching, coming up with new doctrine, uh, false doctrine, in the mindset of thinking that what you're coming up with is this new thing and refreshed thing, when in actuality you're deceiving yourselves and those that follow you. Disrespect and contempt. Blasphemy applies to the lack of reverence or respect for a deity, holy object, or sacred belief. In this particular case, these men, we are to be holy, holy unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And if these are the men in which Yahweh Bashem Yahushai have sent forth to teach, and for those who have said all manner and done all manner of things against these very leaders, again, this is the bishops, the elders, and those that teach the likewise doctrine, you're going to have to give an account. It said for every idle word, profane and irreverence. All right. So let's go. Let's go ahead and get into a few scriptures. Um, this is Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 17. It says, "Obey them." We'll do it this way. It says, "Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give an account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable." So again, you want for these, the leaders, and again, starting, those that are in the camp, you want to be able to take orders and submit to the orders, have open communication, so that they know, how you move, and because again, they have a responsibility over your soul and your spirit, right? And so we need to make sure that we're following the proper orders so that they can be comfortable, in their mind, as far as how they see you. Okay, you want to have a good report. You don't want them going and praying to the Lord, saying, "Lord, this man, needs to be, you know, he's not listening." All right, and then when the Lord starts to jump and come into mind, as far as the things that you're doing or that we're doing, then he's, pretty much in other words, you want to take the correction now that's coming from the apostles and elders, before the Lord does it. You this is the book of First Peter. Actually, I wanted to get this one last. Um, I had another one in it, and as you can see, phone. Sometimes it's there. As you can see, it's First Timothy chapter uh, 5 verse 17, which actually goes into letting the elders, receive double honors. Okay, you want to show that respect and that reverence, like it tells you, from the highest even to the lowest man, those that are in this truth and are teaching sincerely, the Lord will reveal, those that are not in due time. But in actually, but until that time comes, you want to treat every man. First, it tells you treat others, treat them as you would them have you would have them treat you. Let me slow down. All right, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Okay, but then we also have this talk of, looking at every man that is in this faith as a man of the Lord. All right, um, treating that man as if you were doing this work or helping them as you were helping Yahweh Shah. Because again, the scriptures do say, if you do this unto them, you've done it unto me. If you give them a cup of water, you should receive a prophet's reward, right? But if you despise the prophets and go against the prophets, you have despised him, and you despise him, you despise the one who sent him, which is Yahweh. And so there is an order in doing so, in well doing and good doing. So it's the book of, let me see if that Timothy comes up, and it will not. So here, we'll end here. So this is First Peter chapter 5. It's just the first four verses. Um, verse 5, it says, "The elders which are among you I exhort." So Paul himself has exhorted the elders that was among the people. It says, "Who am also an elder." So he also was an elder. So he's leading by example, a witness of the sufferings of Hamashiach, also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. All right. So being partakers, especially those who are in this faith, yoke fellows. All right, feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you. Take the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre's sake, but of a ready mind. So people are, just doing it um, for to get gain, right? Like the guy, like he said in the beginning, of the video, he's like, man, I didn't think to go against, the guys that came ahead of me or came before me, uh, so that I can make a name for myself. And that's what you see. It's out in the world, and then you see people bringing that into the truth. It says, "Neither as being lords over God's heritage by being examples, but being examples of the flock." And this is what we believe our head apostles and elders are, uh, good examples unto the flock, and of how we should move, leading us into the way which is good, which is the scriptures, and to salvation. All right. So, like I said, not just saying, being a hearer of the word, but not a doer, right? What you say, they say in the world, practice what you preach. All right. And it says, "And when the chief shepherd shall appear," because again, everybody's going to going to have to be given a reward based off of their work, whether it be good or evil. All right. It says, "When the chief shepherd shall appear, Yahweh Shai, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. So if we are being good examples, um, to the flock, there is then in the end, we know that we've done the work, of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. It says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subjected one to another, and be clothed with humility, because this is a humbling thing to be led by men. Okay, this is a humbling thing to believe and have faith in what you're being taught, and being taught the right way, correctly. Okay, um, it's a humbling thing when you are being chastised by the Lord, or being corrected, through His men, and being able to know, because it says a wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain to wise counsel. And sometimes the counsel, or the information you're getting, doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, it may be a rebuke, but the words are they cut. So when the scriptures and the spirit of the Lord is speaking, we all get cut at some point, and it's a humbling thing to accept it, and to go along with it, and then in due time the Lord will heal those wounds. All right. So it says, "For the Most High resisteth the proud, and giveth grace unto the humble. Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exalt you in due time. Cast all your cares upon Him, for He careth for you." All right. So I hope that this lesson, you got something out of it that is uplifting and exhorting of some sort of the elect body of true believers. Before I end, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. Till next time, all those listening and learning to you, I say, Shalom.